GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, Dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered. And that's MVS and Justin Watson with some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up with Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is he?
How good is he?
With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.
Let's go. Run that shit up. Call your mama, call your daddy.
Brock Bowers sounds like a porn name.
I'm gonna ask JRich this.
When I laid down for that Guyton pick, I was down there. I was like, if I don't get up, I might not get up.
Look at him, he can't even contain himself.
I did see the comment, JRich, too much horn, but I don't think there's ever too much
horn. And Ray, people want your volume
Let's
up.
go.
They want your gain up a little bit.
Fuck! That came from Jordan.
It came from Jordan.
Ladarius
Keenan
McConkey.
Yes.
Let's go! Let's get it, baby. GMGP. Y'all know what it is. It is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. It's NFL Draft Day, baby. JRich, it's NFL. Where the air horns at? It is NFL Draft Day. If you ain't up, if the crust is still in your eye, if you have not scraped your tongue, had a cup of coffee, I don't know what you're doing with your life, baby. It is Draft Day 2025. Now let's go. Finally, right? We are here. All the rumors, the speculation, the noise, all of that shit. We're about to get answers to all the questions that we've had since probably the end of the football season in 2024. I'm glad that y'all pulled up. I'm glad y'all are tapped in, and we are going to have not just a day. I promise you, we're going to have a day 1, a day 2, a day 3, a day 4, a day 5. We are going to be streaming every single day from now until probably like next Wednesday. Every single day here on this channel, on the other fantasy channel, DDFFB, DD Fantasy Football. So make sure you are subscribed to both. Between JRich, myself, Scott Connor, John Bauer, Mitch Sorensen, the entire crew and team of people. Shane, y'all know who it is. We will be here covering all things NFL Draft, all things fantasy football. And really, before we get into the show, I just want to thank y'all, man. I want to thank the people in the chat. Patrick Price, Dr. B. Harris, appreciate you. Jorge from Rhode Island, All City 617, Greg Oswald, Jimbo, Joe, Garrison, Zach, Cold World TDE, Gino in the building, James Young, Daniel Perry, Alex, Doak Walker, all of the phenomenal people that tap in every single day. This crew is insane, man. Some of y'all live in Brazil, Mexico, Switzerland, the Netherlands. I don't know where you're at, but you're tapped in. You pull up every single day, every single week. And we thank y'all for that as we move into the draft season. But y'all know I got to get Mr. Triple Down King himself on the screen. Jordan Richards. JRich, how you doing, big dog?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I appreciate the lengthy intro so I could get myself situated. We were doing some pre-show programming for everyone who wants to tap into the draft stream. You can catch it on any X feed, period.
Good
we got
Lord.
them all
It's
connected.
everywhere.
Doing a little test show right now. 500 viewers in the building already, right? We're off to a hot start on draft day, but I am very excited. Lots of speculation, lots to figure out, but I think it's going to be a damn good NFL draft. I was telling my dad this morning, no trade so far. Still, we're waiting for Pandora's box to open, and once that box opens up, I think we're going to be in for a hell of a draft and an even better NFL Draft live show. You can catch it live 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on this channel. And Ray, I think it's going to be an all-timer. I really do. Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, where are they going to go? I don't know. But I can't wait to find out, baby. I can't wait to find out.
That's That's all we're doing today. Answering questions, checking the rumor mill, looking at some final boards. We'll talk about my final mock dropped last night. Final mock draft of the season is live on the channel right now. Everybody's dropping their final boards. Everybody's got to submit it for the Huddle Report mock draft contest. So all final predictive mocks are out. I dropped mine on the channel last night. No changes. JRich, no changes except for the competition we're running in our community where I've submitted 5 mock draft entries trying to skew the odds in my favor to win. But, man, I'm excited, man. I'm surprised you ain't got a jersey on, Jay. I got the, you know who I'm wearing right now? You know what this is?
I honestly don't. I have no idea.
Who this is? It's the old GQ 2003 high school All-Star.
GQ special.
It's the old GQ All-Star. Hey, look at what I did to the back of it. I signed it myself, JRich.
No, you didn't. Where is it? Down below at the bottom?
Yeah, it's back there somewhere. I signed my own damn jersey after the All-Star game. But no, it's the old 2003 vintage GQ All-Star jersey, man. We're in the building, JRich. Number 20.
That's pretty sick.
So people say I'm like a Colorado homer. Like, I've loved Deion Sanders like my whole life. He's been my favorite player since I remember football. Wore 21 in the All-Star game because of him. But we got to talk about his son. We got to talk about the number 1 pick. Well, we know it's going to be Cam Ward. All the intrigue of this process, man. It comes to a boiling point today, and we get the draft. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the crew tonight. We'll be joined by some of the creators from the Fantasy Channel. So we're talking all things, whether it's NFL draft, fantasy football, just enjoying the process. I promise you there won't be a more entertaining stream on draft day than this one right here. So pull up, be here, 6:45 Central, 7:45 Eastern, right, JRich?
Yes, sir. Yeah, 7:45. Should be on time. I mean, the draft doesn't start till 8 anyways. We got to give you guys some time to get in the building.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. Why are the Cowboys trending on Twitter, Ray? Like, the draft season is already here.
Yeah, let's talk about
draft
it. Where
day
we
is
at?
here.
Let's go. Let's pull up X right now. I don't know. The Cowboys are trending. Cowboys are trending right now.
On my Twitter, they're trending. I don't know why.
We got a bunch of well, let me give you what's going on today. So there's a pre-draft show at 6:30 Eastern time, pre-draft show on the Fantasy Channel, 6:30. Then we got the live draft. And then at midnight, y'all, fucking midnight, there's going to be a post-draft analysis show on the Fantasy Channel. You see kind of the draft schedule right here. So today, wake up, pre-draft show on the Fantasy Channel, draft on this channel, and then at midnight, we're going to be on doing post-draft analysis. JRich, you going to be there for that one at midnight?
We're going to see. We gonna see.
You said you were.
I don't know if I committed to that one or
if
not.
I'm going to be there, your ass better be there too, man. But let's see what the chat's talking about, man. We got a lot of super chats in the building. This is all for the people, man. Shout out to our dog, Stanley. Let's go. Shout out to our dog, Stanley. Stanley said $10 super chat. I'm stepping into BBM this year like I'm a Q dog. Talking about my fraternity, Omega Psi. What's going down with you, Stanley? Yeah, the BBM. Did you see the new prize structures? Regular season payouts for BBM 6. They're giving away a lot of money.
Is it good? Is it good? Like, you like it?
It's a lot better than it's been. It's a lot better than it was last year. So still have not drafted any this year in Underdog, but excited about this from Underdog. That's dope.
Because BBM drops Monday. Do you want the news? Hear it, because I found it finally.
Oh, let me get the rest of the super chats. Dynasty fan TN156 draft day, baby. GMGP, you know what it is. Appreciate you being in the building. Thank you for the support. Cameron Myers right here says, I can't wait to ask real questions, not what ifs. Have a day, Ray. Yeah. At this point, after tonight, we'll be able to say, now that Travion Henderson is a Denver Bronco, where would you rank him amongst the 2025 running backs? We'll have that happen tonight. But what's the news, Jay? What's the news?
So there's a few things. One, our dear friend Dave Richard, so mad. He tweeted out the Patriots should draft Tyler Warren. Said tweet. No, Dave, don't do that. But
have I not said that before?
You said it, but you backed off. Thankfully, you came to your senses. Thank goodness. Okay. But Marcus Mosher tweeted out 21 minutes ago. Interesting nugget here for Dallas. Albert Breer in his mock draft believes it's either Matthew Golden or Gray Zabel for the Cowboys. Haven't heard a lot of Gray Zabel to the Cowboys. We have heard that Tyler Booker could be an option, or a guard particularly could be an option. But what are your thoughts, Ray, on it being Gray Zabel at 12? There was talk of Tyler Booker. I know that Marcus has talked about that as well, over a Matthew Golden who would make a more impact on the offense versus the offensive line. I think it's interesting because we have heard the guard rumors to Dallas. Offensive line is definitely a need for them potentially, but definitely a little bit surprising to see Zabel as the guy who could be going all the way up at 12.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard that name connected with Dallas. Zach Martin retired, no Tyron Smith. I know they've got Hoffman there at guard. They kind of like his potential. Would feel a little high to take Gray Zabel. And I know Dallas hit gold a few years ago, drafting, well, more than a few years ago. But when they took Zach Martin, I believe 12th or 14th overall, I believe that was the pick that Zach Martin went in. So it's around that same range. I've been on the Matthew Golden train since February. I believe that's what they're going to do. I've mocked the Dallas Cowboys that way, such in my final mock. I would not like if it were Gray Zabel. I wouldn't be happy about that, especially spending a first-round pick on an offensive lineman last year in Tyler Guyton. And then a few years before that, they drafted a guard in Tyler Smith. So, listen, my expectations for Dallas, they're low regardless. So, interesting news nugget, right? Same way that in the middle of the night, they snuck in some Tyler Lockett news. Tyler Lockett.
Well, he himself, right?
On his way to play with Cam Ward. When you think about that fit of Tyler Lockett in Tennessee. Not much. It's good for Cam Ward.
It's tough
good
because
for Cam Ward.
I like Tyler Lockett. He's a good player, right? Like he's a good player. He's had a great career, but Tennessee is really where washed receivers go to retire. Like somehow, some way, Tennessee has become the place. It's not Miami. It's not, somewhere even Jacksonville or California where it's nice, it's warm. It's Tennessee of all places. Julio Jones.
It's that elephant
Randy
graveyard
Moss
in Lion King, man. You just don't go there. You do not go there.
Robert Woods was there, like
Julio.
Yep. And it's just hard to see it any other way. It is. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll have a role in the offense. Will it be anything crazy? Probably not. But it's funny that of all the teams, it had to be Tennessee, who once again is churning the wheel of the old crusty wide receivers. I didn't even mention DeAndre Hopkins, who also went there and sucked. Right? Like,
I mean, I'm telling you.
It's brutal, man.
If you haven't seen Lion King, it is exactly where Mufasa told Simba not to go. You cannot go to the elephant graveyard over there. That is Tennessee. If you are over the age of 30, they will accept you as a wide receiver to go out there and do absolutely nothing. But good for Tyler Lockett, I guess, getting $4 million by
Tennessee. It's $4 million up to $6 million. Not bad.
Not bad for the catch and fall specialist. That is Tyler Lockett. JRich, we got some mocks, man. Let's just pull it up, talk about what we're hearing, what the rumor mills, what the odds makers are saying with some of these players and some of these spots. And let's pull up ESPN first, because this is this article dropped on ESPN this morning. It is 25 mock draft Yates round 1 predictions and Mel Kiper intel dropped early this morning, right before the show. No surprise here. Did you hear Travis Hunter yesterday? Somebody asked him about New England wanting him, or New England, drafting him. And he said, if they come up and get me, then sure, I guess I'll be playing there. So he kind of knows I'm going 2 overall. He said, if they come up and get me, I guess it is what it is. But it sounded like, listening to Hunter, that he's locked in on the Cleveland Browns, and the Cleveland Browns have been very outspoken about his potential on the offensive side of the ball. And the closer we've gotten to the draft, the more it does feel like he will be a primary wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns. Interested to hear what they announce him as tonight. I don't think there's any kind of intrigue with these first 2 picks, Tennessee and Cleveland. These are going to be the top 2 picks. Everyone's hearing it. I'm more excited to see what the fantasy community is going to do once Hunter is drafted number 2 overall. He is announced as a wide receiver first. He does his interview and says, I'm playing both. I'm very curious as to how people are going to react following tonight's news of him being the 2nd overall pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because the fantasy community kind of needs to catch up a little bit, in my opinion. Like, I understand people have their fears about Hunter and what he could be, and I think that's going to be the most difficult part is, if you're in a league, how does your league value Hunter? And where do you take him because of that? Because we could tell you we would take him as high as 104, 105. Okay, cool. But you may be in a league where they really don't value him, or you may be in a league where they agree with our opinion, and you may have take him even higher than that to get him. So I think that's where Hunter is one of those players that if I was playing in a lot of leagues, I probably wouldn't have too many shares. Really? It's not because, not because I'm too good, so I'm not going to have enough draft picks to kind of be in that range. I just think that if I'm diversifying, I'm going to diversify on players that I'm a little bit more sure of what their outcomes could be in the NFL. And Hunter is one of those players that could be really, really great, and I do believe that. And if I only had a pick or two, I would be willing to take a shot. But if I'm diversifying my portfolio a little bit, I'd probably be a little bit underweight on Hunter because of that wider range of outcomes. It's not that I think that Tet's a better prospect, but if he goes to a landing spot, I think, okay, there's a pretty solid median outcome for him and a more variable one for a player like Hunter. I may take Tet a little bit more at probably a lower cost, potentially. And I think that's where managers have to decide. Do they want to go the high-risk, high-upside play of Hunter, or do you want to be a little bit safer with a more portfolio approach?
Cleveland GM Andrew Berry said the Browns view Hunter primarily as a wide receiver at the next level. But he also acknowledged that they would use him on both sides of the ball if they take him at 2. They averaged a league low 5.9 yards per attempt last season. I mean, Joe says right here, I might take him at the 106 if he goes to the Browns. 90% chance I will.
Yep.
He's drafted number 2.
Is fun.
I know you're saying you won't have many shares, but
so for me, it's like if he's in the 104, 103 range, that's where I'm saying, like, are you really gonna take that level of risk? 106, I'm fine with.
I don't think there is. I think
he's my wide receiver. He's my
wide
receiver 1.
We're beyond risk. We're beyond risk.
That's
we're beyond risk. If Cleveland takes him, the GM and they are fully prepared to move. He's not their one corner. He's not. That's Denzel Ward. Okay, that's the All-Pro Denzel Ward. They've already said he's going to be a receiver, primary. That's what they've said. He can play both sides, but you're going to be. There's no more risk here. I think that at this point, he's drafted by Cleveland. They've told you what he's going to do. He has told you what he wanted to do from the time that he declared the Jackson State. He said, "I'm playing receiver." There's no more risk. Like, draft him.
No, but what you're excusing is the risk of him playing both sides. Yes, he's a primary receiver, but he's not. But and like you always talk about, he wants to play both sides. So you can't just say he's going to be a receiver. His primary is wide out. But I can go be a primary wideout and get jacked up on one play on defense.
Sure.
Right? Like,
and
you can
go out there. You can go out there and get a toss sweep to the right, unimpeded, and tear your ACL like Jonathan Brooks. So
but what you're talking about is not the same. You're comparing apples and oranges. You're comparing a player that plays one side of the ball and does one thing versus a player who's trying to do two things.
Let me just ask you this.
You can't say the same.
If you play 50 snaps in the NFL, whether it's split between special teams, offense, you're playing 50 snaps, right? If you're playing 50 on offense or you're playing 40 on offense, 10 on defense, you're still getting 50 snaps. Like this, he's not going to be, there's not 100 plays run.
Okay. No, I get that. But okay, that's fine. But your preparation level is split. Your focus is split. Everything you do is split to some extent. So you can't say that it's the same.
What you're doing, though, is you're stretching for something to latch onto. You're talking about his preparation, his focus.
But I'm saying there is added risk, and you're saying there's no risk.
No.
I think you're failing to acknowledge that there is risk. I'm not worried about
those are. You know what that type of risk is? That's the same type of risk you take when you get in the car every single day, right? You get in the car every single day. There's a risk that when you drive down the street, somebody could hit you. That is a risk, but I'm not about to be fearful over small risks that are relevant.
Okay, then where would you take them? You're saying there's no risk. Where are you taking him? Because I'm saying you should take him one.
Wide receiver one.
That doesn't mean anything. But how high? Wide receiver 1. Great. That's cool. I already said he's my wide receiver 1.
Super flex or single quarterback?
Super flex.
103.
Okay. I want to see you draft him 103 then.
I will.
Because he's going to Cleveland. He's going to Cleveland.
And he's going to play receiver. 103.
Yeah.
103. Okay. All right, let's go to down the board a little bit more. We've got the Giants, Abdul Carter. Anything that you're hearing right now, Jay, that sways you from this pick? Can the Giants shock us all and draft Ashton Genty, draft Shedeur Sanders, draft Jackson Dart, or is this locked and loaded Abdul Carter? Or what I've been saying for the entire process, they trade this pick. Hunter's off the board. Cam Ward's off the board. Giants need to trade this pick. What do you think they do? Final predictions for you with the Giants.
I think they're locked in on Carter. So for people, I think we talked about this already, how Joe Schoen in the front office likes Sanders, and it's Brian Dable who likes Jackson Dart, right? And I think because of that, they're not going to take a quarterback. They're not going to trade down. They're going to probably take Carter. I don't think that the Maras would want them to trade down anyways, because you are going to get an elite player in a great spot, because if you trade down, you're going down a tier or two. I think the Giants stay pat. I think they take Abdul Carter. It's pretty chalky, but I think it's the right move for them. It sounds crazy. It's not going to save their jobs, but it probably is the right move for the Giants. Taking Sanders just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Yates' prediction for your New England Patriots is Will Campbell. That's where I've settled in as well. Kiper notes in this article, everything I've heard tells me the top 4 picks are pretty set. It's really Jacksonville at 5 where things could get interesting. And over the last, I'd say like 4 days, hasn't even been a week, Ashton Genty to Jacksonville has
steamed
all the way up. I, for the entire
Heavy
process,
favorite.
was not sold on Jacksonville going Mason Graham. I've mocked just about every other position to Jacksonville, including Tyler Warren, including a tackle. Ashton Genty to Jacksonville? Sure. I think that'd be good. I think that'd be a fun offense. You've got T-Law, you've got Ashton Genty, Brian Thomas Jr. I know they probably need to upgrade some additional receivers, losing Christian Kirk, etc. But you add a running back like this to that backfield, takes a lot of pressure off of Trey. How do you just feel about this landing spot? And I'm assuming if they draft Genty at 5, Travis Etienne is out of the door.
Yeah, they probably trade him on day 1, if not on day 2. And it's funny because we've seen links to Dallas, right? I think it's a great fit. I mean, you look to who Liam Cohen had success with last season. It was Bucky Irving, the broken tackle machine, and you're getting a arguably even better breaking tackle machine in Ashton Genty. The question really is like, is he going to be this full-time running back? You'd absolutely assume so, but they have to kind of figure out the depth chart a little bit to make sure that you get that clarity. But, I mean, he's minus 230 to go to Jacksonville right now, so he's going to end up in Jacksonville. I'm not buying the Tet rumors. I think it's absolutely ridiculous of Tet going 5. Mason Graham seems unlikely. I still think there's a outside shot they could take Jalen Walker, but it seems like it's Ashton Genty right now.
Yeah, Fredo said it really helps Lawrence. I'll be trading for him if they land Ashton Genty. Saying bringing Ashton Genty in really helps Trevor Lawrence. I think it helps that entire offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jimbo says poor ETN, and yeah, Peter Schrager was the first one that started to report this, and then it is picked up significantly. Now, I do think this is also a spot, Jay, where can't you just see a young GM who's kind of watched this game play out, knows that Jacksonville probably isn't quite ready to compete yet? I think this 5 spot could also be a spot where Jacksonville trades out, whether that's Denver jumping up, whether that's Chicago wanting to jump up to get this running back. I think that this is a prime spot for the Jags to move back as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're taking a running back, right? Like, let's be honest, this isn't exactly a value pick to take a running back at 5th overall.
Right.
And it just depends on what is the team and what's the haul they're going to get, because I think that's the hard part. When you talk about trading down and you're not trading up for a quarterback, what does that draft haul and compensation look like? Is it a little bit less because you're not trading up for a premier quarterback? You're trading up for a running back who is extremely talented. And that's where when you talk about Denver, like, are they going to give up 1st round next year, 2nd rounder, and their 20th pick to go and draft Ashton Genty? That'd be pretty crazy because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So that's where it's difficult to see a trade up, because are you really going to pay 5th overall prices for a running back that's definitely not worth 5th overall prices in terms of draft compensation?
The Raiders, Joe said, I think the Jags are trying to bait the Raiders into trading up. And that's what I think.
I think so too.
Here's my thing. And I did this a few mocks ago. I had the Raiders trading up to 3, but they were trading up to 3 because that was during the time where the assumption was Abdul Carter was going to be the number 2 overall pick. And I'm like, man, if I'm Las Vegas, I'm jumping up to 3 to get Travis Hunter, bring him to Las Vegas. But moving up the spot to get Genty, here's where I think the Raiders would be okay. Here's why I think the Raiders don't have to do that, Jay. You see in this mock, they take Kelvin Banks at 6, right? Everybody know, if anybody has watched Las Vegas, done any research on their team needs, they need to improve their offensive front. There are a lot of people in Las Vegas who are like, we don't even need a damn running back right now. They pick at the top of the 2nd round. If you're able to land a premier offensive lineman, a premier edge rusher, right? Even if this pick was Mason Graham, and then in the 2nd round, you're still able to get a Quinshawn, an Omarion Hampton potentially, Caleb Johnson, whatever running back their flavor is, I think that is a better use of draft capital funds and would also still serve the same purpose for Las Vegas. I think any of those backs could be quality backs. with an improved offensive front, with a better passing game, and with Chip Kelly at the helm. So if somebody trades up to 5 and takes Genty, I kind of feel like it would be doing the Raiders a little bit of a favor, even though it may not feel like it right now. So they take Kelvin Banks. The Jets take Mason Graham. In my final mock, I had the Raiders taking Armand Mimbu and the Jets passing on Mason Graham and taking Tyler Warren at 7. Kiper notes, I still think Penn State tight end Tyler Warren could be in play here. He would open up the Jets offense for quarterback Justin Fields, and I've been saying that this entire process. I think that a dynamic tight end is a young or limited quarterback's best friend, and I believe that Tyler Warren fits that kind of Aaron Glenn tough guy mold, and because Glenn is a defensive guy, I think he's going to look at this Jets team and be like, I can work with this. Like there are a lot of good defensive pieces that I can mold and develop here. Let's focus on the offensive side of the ball. We got to compete with Josh Allen. We got to compete with what Mike McDaniel is going to do with that Miami Dolphins offense. And we got to compete with this young ascending Drake May and all these moves that the Patriots are doing. Let's go ahead and get Justin Fields some weapons, knowing Devontae Adams isn't there. They need more playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. So I still think this pick for New York at 7 will be Tyler Warren. Carolina at 8 goes Armand Mimbu. I have him taking an edge rusher, Jalen Walker. Same player I've been mocking the entire time. Right here, Yates' prediction is Armand Mimbu, the big tackle. Saints at 9. And this is where shit gets interesting, right? This is where the draft takes a turn one way or the other. Yates has him taking Jalen Walker. My final mock, I didn't know what to do. I called you. I said, Jay, I don't know what the Saints are doing. I don't know what the Saints are doing, but we have both said.
I told you a few days ago, right? The Saints is the biggest wild card in the draft. No one knows what they're doing right now.
I have them taking Jackson Dart. I don't feel great about that mock draft prediction at all. I don't know what they're going to do. They need a lot of everything. And if you believe the rumors and the reports that Derek Carr is significant, that shoulder is fucked up, they're going to have to make a move at some point. Now, again, luckily for the Saints, I think they picked 40th in round 2. Yep. That's probably where Jackson Dart should be taken. But, man, I've done this long enough. I know E.J. Manuel and Christian Ponder went top 15, top 20, right? Kenny Pickett was a top 25 pick. I've seen worse and crazier things happen and on the promo. We're and on because – no way the Falcons would take a quarterback, right? They just gave Kirk Cousins $100 million. And what do? Yeah. Top 10, Michael Penix. So what are your thoughts? You are a resident Saints homer. What do you think about your second team, the Saints? What do they do, man?
Saints do two things. They trade up and they draft in the trenches. That is simply all they've done. I believe since 2014, they've taken an offensive or defensive lineman every single draft. So I would probably expect him to stay in the trenches once again. If Jalen Walker's available, they would take him. Michael Williams is another commonly drafted player, usually because Jalen Walker is projected to be off the board. They could go offensive line. They didn't pick up Trevor Penning's option, so that is another potential need for them after this season if they do get rid of Penning. But yeah, it's basically going to come down to Kelvin Banks, if available, which I don't expect he's going to be. And if he's not available, they probably go with D-line, whether it's Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, or my hope is Mason Graham, so I can hit my 50-1 on Mason Graham to New Orleans at number 9. But yeah, it's going to be in the trenches probably for the Saints. They need to refortify that D-line because it's very old, and their O-line is good, but they could still add a weapon if available on the offensive line.
Tommy Sosa said, I'm a Raider fan, and I don't want Genty. Draft is deep at running back. And this has been a common theme from people that I know that are true. It's not that Raiders fans don't think Genty's good. I haven't heard one Raider fan say Ashton Genty isn't good. Ashton Genty isn't a dynamic running back. But what I have heard them say is, Ray, man, we need a lot of other positions. This draft is deep at running back. I hope my team does not take him at pick 6. Chicago Bears at 10. They take Tyler Warren, a player coming off the board at 7. Bears take Tyler Warren. How does the fantasy space feel about this pick?
They probably like it. I mean, we've talked about it. It's a tough spot because they do have Kmet there. They obviously have DJ Moore. They have Rome Odunze. It's not the easiest room to just walk into and assume targets, right? So I think that's the problem. And have you seen the reports? I think it was Matt Miller who reported it, that they actually prefer Colson Loveland over Tyler Warren.
Really?
Right? So there's been a lot of... So he reported that his sources say... So in his mock from yesterday, he had them taking Colson Loveland as the first tight end off the board because Tyler Warren didn't go to the Jets in his mock, and he said that they prefer Loveland over Tyler Warren, which I mean, and I think, Ray, you can kind of comment on this a little bit. Do you think that Colston Loveland profiles a bit more as a Sam Laporta than Tyler Warren? I kind of think so. And so I kind of get where they're coming from in that respect. But yeah, so it's interesting that tight end is still a fit for them. And it does seem like Colston Loveland could be the pick for them if that source ends up being true.
Alex nailed it. Love it for Caleb, but I can't see a path to a lot of targets. I'll just say this. I know it's hard to go back in time 365-ish days ago. But when Brock Bowers was selected, a lot of people said they hated it. I can't see a path.
Oh, yeah.
No
They
path.
didn't like it.
No path for targets. Not enough quarterback play there. And then you look up and you're like, holy shit. I mean, it's not only was he one of the best damn tight ends in football, he's one of the best pass catchers in football as a rookie. I'm not comparing Tyler Warren and Brock Bowers, but who knows, man? I mean, I don't know what Ben Johnson in this offense is going to look like in Chicago, but if they take a damn tight end 10th overall, I'm up. I'm alert, right? I'm watching. I'm paying attention. I'm cognizant of what's going down. At 11, the San Francisco 49ers take a player that I had going one pick before, Mykel Williams. In my final mock, I had going to the Chicago Bears, so the Niners get edge rush help. And in my final mock, San Francisco took Mason Graham, who fell to them at 11, which I think would be a steal if the 49ers were able to get Mason Graham there. And Yates' prediction for my Dallas Cowboys is Tetairoa McMillan, T-Mac, playmaker opposite CeeDee Lamb at 12. I've got Matthew Golden going to the Cowboys at 12. Dolphins take Will Johnson at 13. We've got Indianapolis going Colston Loveland. That has been chalked the entire time. 15, the Atlanta Falcons. Jay, in my final mock, I'm trusting the
Who'd
talent.
you give him?
I gave him James Pierce Jr. I don't give a fuck what they're saying about the character concerns. I think James Pierce is still a top 20 player in the class. I've got Mike Green falling a little bit, right? This has been a common pick. They went edge rusher, but I've got him going James Pierce Jr. at 15 and not Mike Green, the edge rusher, at 15. The Arizona Cardinals at 16 take the tackle Josh Simmons. I had him falling down the board a little bit here. I did not have Josh Simmons.
That seems kind of crazy. 16?
You know who I had at? You know who I have at 16 in my mock?
16 was tough for me. I forget who I put at 16.
In my mock, I have Will Johnson going to Arizona at 16.
Okay.
Right here.
Did I have Will Johnson?
I got Will Johnson at 16. I got Will Johnson going to
yeah, because Mike Green, Shamar Stewart, and who's the other one I'm thinking of now? James Pierce. I have them all in within 6 picks. And it's really just trying to figure out who so I think I have Green at 15. I'm pretty sure I have Pierce at 17 to the Bengals.
Okay.
And then
you got
I have
Pierce at 17.
And I have Stewart dropping a little bit. Because
I got Stewart's
the one that people have had him high and people have had him real low. He seems like a very Walter Nolan.
And in my final mock,
dude.
In my final mock,
man, what a pick.
I've got Cincinnati taking Walter Nolan at 17.
You know where I put him, Ray?
The whole time he is a top 15 player in the class. I don't care when he was falling to say, he's a top 15 player. He's a top 15 player.
How high do you think he can go though?
8.
Because I think it was people put him at 8.
Panthers
which
at 8.
Is crazy.
Panthers at 8.
Jalen Walker better be gone if they're taking Walter Nolan at 8. But we'll see.
We'll see.
So I put him to Pittsburgh in mine.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I'm like, if Walter Nolan's available for Pittsburgh, they're not drafting a quarterback if Walter Nolan's available.
Absolutely. If he's available,
I like
absolutely.
This pick too.
I can see it.
Cincinnati is
100%. I can see it, man.
Fit.
I can see it. Gray Zabel, common fit. That's why I'm going to Seattle. Chalk, right? Tampa Bay. JRich. Field Yates must have looked at old GQ mock, man. He looked at the channel last night because look at that. Jade Barron to Arizona. It's a Tampa Bay. Should be Tampa Bay, but you know what? You get the point, right? Jade Barron, 19th overall.
Do you think he's going to be the top corner drafted? Because
no.
So here's the thing with him. So here's the thing. We have in this mock, you have Johnson higher.
Yeah, I have
Johnson as CB2. Because it seems like there's some concerns with the injury with Johnson, and Barron could be the number 1 target. And I will mention this for people because I haven't talked about Barron in a while.
Ooh.
Back when we did our mock draft a while ago, remember I said that I thought corners would go a little bit higher. Now I'm kind of waning off that a bit, only because I thought Johnson would be in that group, and it doesn't seem like he's going to be going too high. Now, I could be wrong, but I bet Barron to go under 18.5 the moment the odds came out, at even odds. And then it flipped to him going over, probably about a week after that. And very recently, that number has once again flipped back to 18.5, but heavily juiced to the under. So the books right now are projecting Jahdae Barron to probably be a top 18 pick, where you have the Miamis, the Arizonas, and a couple other teams that could be spots. But Tampa's the team that is the biggest wild card, and I believe I gave them Eamon Wari.
I mean, they need defensive back help.
Cornerback.
Bucks tied for 26 in interception. They had 7 picks last year. Antoine Winfield was banged up. They lost DBs. They need corner help, man. Denver at 20 in Yates' mock. Matthew Golden. Interesting pick. I've not seen Golden mock to Denver. This good for Bo Nix.
It ain't a running back, right? It ain't going to be a running back. I know everyone wants to be a running back. No. I think I put Ibuka there.
I think if they go RB, this is me. If they go running back, it's Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
Sean Payton has talked about wanting this joker, right? And the number one joker that people talk about is Tyler Warren. But don't forget that Sean Payton drafted Reggie Bush, second overall in 2006 after Mario Williams went to Houston. And I've compared Travion Henderson's NFL outlook to not collegiate Reggie Bush and what he did on the college field at USC, but how he was deployed in New Orleans, in Miami, in the NFL. And I do think Hendo can be that. And estimate, while he may not be this dynamic running back, all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber guy, if he could just bash it up the middle a couple of times a game and then they deploy Travion Henderson in space, you know how good that would be for Bo Nix? You know how good that would be for Denver's offense? I think Jaleel McLaughlin and Hendo can survive in the same backfield. If they go running back, and here's the thing, the only reason that people are saying Omarion Hampton is because they've been connected to running backs, but they visited with Travion Henderson as well. Like, it is not just Omarion Hampton to Denver. It could be an outcome. And my final mock, I have them going Hendo at pick 20. 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers take Omarion Hampton in Yates' mock. A lot of people talk about Shedeur Sanders here, which we mocked, or at least I mocked, to Pittsburgh at 21. So your thoughts on the Steelers and what they do at 21? And real quick, and Golden to Denver does what for you? Like, Troy Franklin, not good. Marvin Mims, not good.
I think it sucks for Mims because, like, I like Mims, and Mims is a talented player. It hasn't really shown its way on the NFL field quite yet. Why? It's questionable because, again, we've seen some great flashes from Mims, but first-round wide receiver probably going to play over Marvin Mims and obviously Troy Franklin. I think the question really, Ray, is, like, do you think he can operate as a number one target ahead of Cortland Sutton? Because I like Cortland Sutton, but I don't think he's like...
No.
I don't think he's a
operate as
dominant
the number
X.
one? No.
Yeah.
No.
Like, lead the team in targets.
No.
Because Sutton could also be gone very shortly. So I don't... If you want to take a shot at him, I don't hate it. But Golden doesn't seem like...
Yeah, I know he's not a sexy name, but why? Cortland Sutton's fine. Like, no. He would lead
But
them
yeah, Pittsburgh taking Hampton, does this even make sense? Like, honestly. Do they need a running back? No, because they signed Gainwell and they have Warren. Could they take a running back? I mean, I guess
sure.
So.
In round 5, but I'm not taking... No.
Go take Ollie Gordon. That's your Pittsburgh Steelers running back in the 4th round.
Yeah.
Or Damian Martinez. Like, there's your workhorse.
I'm not here for that.
Tyler
Booker.
Yeah, fortify the O-line. Why not?
Sure.
I think that the Chargers have a luxury pick here. They can kind of go wherever, and it'll probably.
I gave him Kenneth Grant. I gave him Kenneth Grant.
I thought about it. I think
I
might give him Shamar Stewart.
If Grant's there, they need interior defensive line help. I'm not.
Yeah. I wanted to force it, right? Like, Michigan, you know.
I forced it. I fucking forced it. I forced it. All right, at 23, Shamar Stewart. I think this would be a pick. I really do. I think this would be a pick if he were on the board, Jay. At 23, the Green Bay Packers are taking him. But in my final mock, you know who I have at 23?
I matched you.
Tet McMillan. You like that pick, huh? Tet McMillan. Talk about Green Bay. If they draft Tet McMillan, how will the fantasy community feel about him paired with Jordan Love, knowing that Jaden Reed, for as good as he is, they just don't throw him the ball half the damn time. He goes 2 games and they just want to throw it to him behind the line of scrimmage for whatever reason. Christian Watson's got a torn, his knee is shredded, his hamstrings are cooked. Romeo Dobbs is fine. Dontavian Wicks is the hopium of all hopium. They draft Tet McMillan, which Tet was yesterday, I think he said, man, they've shown a lot of love. I'm feeling Green Bay. I'm liking this situation. I think if it goes that way, that would probably be one of the best case outcomes for him. I think there's a real world possibility where Tet in Green Bay develops. It would take a year, but it'd be almost like JSN in Seattle, where he wasn't really the guy year one, but you saw that, man. If they throw him the ball and then he developed into that in year two, I think this would be a great landing spot for Tet McMillan with Jordan Love. Great landing spot.
It's a good spot, but do you have any concerns about the offense? They spread the ball around. They use a multitude of weapons.
I wonder if that's a byproduct of what they have, though. I wonder if it's a byproduct of what they have.
I think it is a little bit, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it is a little bit, 100%. But this is the same Matt LaFleur that only gave A.J. Brown 110 targets, right? Like, this is that offense, right? You can have an alpha in the offense, but it doesn't mean that he's going to see a multitude of targets. And this is a team that I believe was dead last in the NFL in pass rate over expectation. And part of the reason is Josh Jacobs, but part of the reason is just that we've kind of talked about this now, where we're off Jordan Love a little bit, is because they don't want to allow him to throw the ball. They are refusing to give him an opportunity to throw the ball unless they have to.
And again, I wonder if that's a byproduct of who they have at receiver, and they don't feel there's a guy that can consistently win one-on-one that can do those type of things. So you just run the damn ball with Josh Jacobs. I think it's a good fit, Jay. I think it's a good fit.
Oh, it's a good fit. I'm just curious how people would feel about the upside.
Okay.
And would they be a little bit out over their skis on what it could be?
Maybe, but that's what we do. We're always out over our skis. That's what we always do, right? LaDainian Tomlinson is the comp for Ashton Genty, and we're talking about being over our skis for Tet McMillan. Minnesota goes Nick Eamon-Worry in the final mock, as did I. What I've heard from Minnesota beat reporters is they draft whoever comes in for that 30 visit. So I looked on the visit list. They looked at a bunch of safeties. Nick Eamon-Worry is on the board. He's a freak athlete. They lost, you know what I mean? They lost Cam Bynum.
Yeah.
We'll go with the safety. And Harrison Smith is back like on a one-year deal, and he's 50 years old. Houston 36. At 25 goes Josh Connerly. I haven't taken Josh Simmons, who fell a little bit. So Houston takes Josh Simmons in my final mock. Josh Connerly goes to the Texans here at 25. 26.
Oh,
I love it, man. I love it.
You really think they're going to do this?
I don't think they're going to do it.
I've been thinking about this.
I like the call. So for those of y'all that are listening, Los Angeles Rams on the clock at 26. They take Carson Schlesinger, linebacker out of UCLA. This kid, his whole story, from walking on at UCLA, closing speed. This kid can play, man. I'm not using white linebacker comps. I'm not going to comp him to Luke Kuechly out here. I'm not going to do it,
Brian Urlacher comps?
No, man. I'm not doing that.
AJ Hawk, perhaps?
AJ Hawk, little Bobby Carpenter. What other white linebackers can I think of? A bunch of them. Sean Lee-ish. He's got some Sean Lee ability in there, right? He's a good linebacker, man. He's fast. He's healthy. And when you get shredded for 200 yards by Saquon Barkley, not once, but twice, you probably need to upgrade your second and third level of the defense. I gave them Malachi Stark, safety out of Georgia. Carson Schlesinger, I know it might be a little early for an off-ball linebacker, but this is a need for this team. They need to address their second and third levels of the defense. It's a damn good player, man.
It's interesting, right? Because the more I've heard about Jahad Campbell, the more I'm thinking that maybe Schlesinger. Oh, that's a great name. That's a great name.
Keep them coming, folks. Keep them coming.
But yeah, I've been thinking that there's a world where Carson Schlesinger could be the first linebacker taken. Now, to the Rams, I don't know. The Rams are a pretty smart organization. They don't typically make a non-value play like this, take a first-round linebacker. They'd have to really like him to make a move like that. But, I mean, I had Maxwell Harrison going there.
Okay.
Another player they desperately need. But, Schlesinger first linebacker off the board. I might have to take some bets on that because you might get some good odds.
See? Clay Matthews.
It could happen.
See? Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews.
Go.
Oh, man, USC, man. Clay Matthews wasn't even a starter at SC, man. They had a nasty linebacking core. It was Keith Rivers, Ray Malaluga, Brian Cushing, and Clay Matthews on the same team.
Bill Romanowski.
Come on.
Throwback of all
Romanowski. I love it, man. Let's go down the board. Yates is mock. Schlesinger. Malachi Starks goes to Baltimore. My God.
What a pick, Ray. This has to happen. Like, man, I want this pick to happen so badly.
I'm smiling,
It's such a good pick.
Yeah.
Well, we know why you're smiling. This is a great pick for your team.
Come on, dude. It's a good pick for Baltimore. I like Malachi. I like Malachi Starks. Has nothing to do with Baltimore. Has nothing to do with Baltimore. I like Starks. I know you wanna poke fun, but it's a good pick and a good player. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, I actually have this in my mock, so it's a great pick.
I had him going one pick. I had him going one pick higher. I had him going 26. Yeah. I've got five mocks in the running, so he's got a couple of places. Okay, 28. Man, Detroit takes Donovan Jackson.
What'd you do with the Lions?
I think I gave them Maxwell Hairston in my final mock.
I have no idea.
I gave him Maxwell Hairston. I know I did. I wanted to put Donovan Jackson to Philadelphia at 32. I really did. I think this is a round one caliber offensive lineman. He can come in and immediately be a starter on this team, upgrade that team's offensive attack. Listen.
Because he's replacing the guy they lost to Tennessee, right? I forget his name, but he's filling in that spot. So guard makes a lot of sense for them, actually.
And here we go. The Commanders and the Browns trade, so only one trade in this mock. Browns are jumping back up in the first round, and they take Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. Thoughts?
It's interesting.
We'll see.
I mean,
we'll see, right?
To Cleveland, right? To Cleveland, yeah.
What would this do for his stock? Even at pick 29, let's say this is the mock. He's paired back up with Travis Hunter.
Fair. That's fair.
Jerry Jeudy.
That's good for Travis Hunter.
Njoku. First round quarterback.
Do you think he starts this season as the starting quarterback?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's the question. Do you think he's a starter? And I think the answer is no.
Joe Flacco's starting. He would start the depth chart because this is how football works, is the third quarterback. He'd be behind Kenny Pickett to start. I'm not saying that's what it would be in the game, but to start the season, I guarantee the first byline is Shedeur's running with the third team offense, right?
He's either third team or first team. He's never going to be the actual backup.
No.
It'll always be Kenny Pickett.
He'll always be the third quarterback. I think people would like this a lot. Like, even at 29, if they're like, man, you're going to put him with Jeudy, win quickly, just get the ball out of his hands. You're going to pair him back up with Travis Hunter. I think Cleveland gets him somehow. I think when we get to tonight, somehow Cleveland finds a way to make this happen. And here's this is just vibe with me for a minute, Jay. It has nothing to do with, is it the best X's and O's approach, right? Is this the best move that Cleveland can make to advance their football team forward? You know what it's about, JRich?
Money. Oh, selling some tickets for that new stadium.
You got to get butts in seats, man. You got to get butts in seats. And after the fucking debacle that was Deshaun Watson and all, first of all, Travis Hunter, it makes sense from a business standpoint. Get a likable kid who says, all I want to do is play football and fish. That's the only thing I want to do. I want to play football and I want to fish. F and F. 3 Fs. He wants to fish, football, and the other thing. You know what that is. He wants to do those 3 things.
I was way ahead of you on that one.
All right? The 3 Fs is what Travis Hunter wants to do. But you pair him back up with his college quarterback that helped them win the Heisman. I think the fan base would love it because, we didn't have to take Shedeur at 2. We got him at the back of the first. This is great. And we pair him back up with Travis Hunter. I think people would love it, Jay.
I think they would, but I think what's interesting is I think there's going to be a bidding war in this draft. It's not going to be like, I don't think it'll be so easy to just say, oh yeah, we'll trade up 29. Like, I think the Giants will be an option.
Of course.
To trade up as well, right?
Of course.
So that's where, for me, in my mock, I actually have 2 trade ups.
Okay.
I have Minnesota trading down to 24. And then I have another team. I actually have the Bills trading down as well because I think they're a sneaky trade down team. They traded down last year. And if their guy isn't there, which for me is Maxwell Harrison, I think they could trade down. But I do think there'll be a bit of a bidding war to trade up. And you may have to trade up higher than 29 to get your quarterback. But we're going to see. It'll be very interesting. But I think it's a good fit. And I think that more importantly, Stefanski will know how to use them, which is good. Right? You take him, pair him with Daboll, it's more interesting. See how
Come on, man. Freaky Thursday on the stream.
We still got Friday. Oh, Ray Sharp. We haven't even talked about your favorite uncle, Ray.
He ain't my uncle. He's absolutely not my uncle. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Buffalo goes Maxwell Harrison. I haven't taken Trey Amos.
If he's available, great pick.
Oh my God.
What? Eagles get sniped. They get sniped so hard.
How good of a fit would this be? Kenneth Grant to KC.
Very good.
I like it. I like it. And Philly, dude. JRich, in my final mock, I have the Eagles taking who? Donovan Ezeraku. I got him taking Rock.
See, I have him with Grant, just to replace Milton Williams.
Grant. I got him taking Donovan. Yeah. Me and Yates, man, we just shaking hands right here. I got him taking Donovan Ezeraku. Philly takes him here at 32. So that is Field Yates's mock that dropped today, this morning. We're going to transition over after the break to take a look at Daniel Jeremiah's mock. We're going to just take a look at his mock, see how it differs, just talk through. All we're doing is talking through players, situations. We'll check Adam Schefter's X account, see what's happening on Twitter, all that good stuff. We appreciate y'all being in the building. It's going to be a fun day. We've got streams all over our channels here on the DDFFB channel. We're going to go do some stuff over there a little bit later today. So subscribe, hit the thumbs up button. We'll be right back after the break, and we're going to keep this thing rolling, baby. Let's go. Welcome in, everybody, for another stream over here on Bleacher Report, NFL Daily. You can find JRich and I every single week here on this app.
The moment I say it, they'll say, oh, yuck. And it's got to be Najee Harris, right? It's
that world is in an alternate timeline somewhere in the multiverse. It ain't here on Earth 616 or whatever. It ain't here. JRich and I are on every single Thursday, 7 p.m. Wake up with Ray and Jay every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and today's special Thursday, man. It's NFL Draft Day. You know we want to leave you hanging, baby. So make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like the content, subscribe to the channel, and make sure, damn it, you're subscribed to DDFFB, DD Fantasy Football at midnight. I took off work, Jay. I'm off work today and tomorrow and Monday.
Oh.
3 days. 3 days because I'm streaming every damn day. But after the draft tonight, immediately following the draft, myself, Dynasty Theory, Shane Manila, JRich, Scott Connor, and the crew will be live over there reacting all things fantasy football, mock drafts, ADP, all that stuff. But tonight on this channel, Draft Party, man, it's going to be me, JRich, the whole crew. Tomorrow, we're going to have Ron Stewart pop on the channel, man. I've chopped it up with him, did a final rookie mock with Ron. He's a dope dude, man. He's watched the show, JRich, and Ron Stewart's a big name in the fantasy space. Shout out. He's a really dope dude, man.
Yeah.
He was like, man, I've been watching Destination Devi and listening since you had airplane chimers on the podcast. Like, this was 2019, 2018. This is a long time ago, man. So to finally get to chop it up with him and have him join the channel, it's going to be fun, man. Get some more fantasy people on here just talking through what all this shit means. But, Jay, let's take a look at Jeremiah's mock. You want to just look at his and see what he had going on and what differed from this one over here, and we won't spend a lot of time on, like, you know, the ones that we know, like Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Seems like that's going to be the top 3 picks all the way around. He's got Will Campbell and Ashton Genty as well, 4 and 5. 6, he's got Kelvin Banks. At 7, he's got Armand Membu instead of Mason Graham. So Banks at 6 is seeming.
Ray, I fucked it up, man. I should have put Banks. So for people who haven't paid attention to this, the reason why it's Banks over Membu is because Membu's a right tackle and Banks is a left tackle, right? And this is the reason why Banks is probably going to go at 6 and not at 7.
Okay.
Now, I have Membu still at 6 and Banks at 7. Oh, but I
you feel like you should have switched it?
I think so. I read this and I think it was in Miller's mock, and a few other people talked about it as well. But it's because of Colton Miller wanting a new deal on his last year's deal. They need a new left tackle. But I figured they would just take the player they believe in more. And I think right now a lot of people have Membu higher. But Banks is making a charge, man. Like, he's going to go probably in the top 8. And I think if he doesn't go to Vegas, he's probably going to the Jets.
What's up, Jim? Jim said, I was wondering what happened to y'all. Y'all stopped seeing picks on y'all subscriber list. So I put out my first mock in like over a month on the channel because we had just done so many of those joints live. So, Jim, we're still doing it, but a lot of times we're just live. We just did them live and didn't post them post-pro, but appreciate you pulling up, man. Yeah, Membu and Banks, it's going to be interesting to see what the Raiders and the Jets do. Again, I still think the Jets are going to go Tyler Warren, but I do think Carolina could probably swing on Mason Graham here. If he is going to fall, in quotes, from 4 for 5 where people thought he was going to go. And right here, Jeremiah says they took a big swing on Milton Williams in free agency and missed. They want to pair somebody up next to Derek Brown. You've got to generate pressure either on the outside or on the inside. You put Mason Graham and Derek Brown inside together. That is nasty. It's kind of what Canales did last year on the offensive side of the ball with Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt, the two offensive guards, fortifying the interior of that offensive line. They're doing the same thing to create disruption on the defensive side of the ball. So I could absolutely see them going Mason Graham. They take Mykel Williams. The Saints take Mykel Williams at 9, so no Jackson Dart. 2 mocks we've looked at. I've got Dart at 9. Nobody has Dart at 9. Mykel Williams going to the Saints. They need edge rusher.
Also no Jalen Walker, though. You don't see Walker slide this far too often.
I feel like I messed up having Walker so high, but he's kind of been there the whole time. Tyler Warren to Chicago again. So this is 2 mocks with Tyler Warren, 10th to the Bears. Here goes the first shocker. Here's the first. I've not looked at this mock. Here's the first shocker. Gray Zabel to San Francisco at 11.
Ray, that's... 49ers fans would be big mad if that happened. A guard?
Here's the thing.
At 11.
Probably big mad. Probably didn't have to do this at 11.
And Walker's still on the board.
You look up 3 years from now and he's a perennial Pro Bowler, they won't give a shit, right? Protect Brock Purdy. I'm in favor of the Niners upgrading their trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. I'm all for it. Zabel at 11 seems like...
not guard, though. It's tackle... It's edge. It's maybe DT. Of all the classes, I don't think, especially where in this range where they're at, like you wouldn't want to go.
But let me ask you this, because I saw people talk about this narrative was floating around on X yesterday. Everybody wants to talk about how you need to build from the inside out, fortify your trenches, and then when mock teams are mocked to do such things, people hate it. Oh, you can't take the guard. If you're going to do the trench, you can't. Why not? You think Dallas gives a damn about drafting Zach Martin inside the top 15? 0.
It was 16, though.
Top 16. Is that better? You think they care about that? I mean,
they don't when it works, right? But when it doesn't work,
I'd make a pick, but
when it doesn't work, it looks real bad because
it all looks fucking bad.
Remember Cole Strange, right?
If you draft Matthew Golden at 11 or 12 and that doesn't work, it looks bad. Right? You draft a quarterback at 15 and it doesn't work, it looks bad. You draft an edge rusher at the top 10.
You're going out on a limb away from consensus as well. You're not just taking a good player at 11. You're taking a guy that's projected what?
Do you really think
16,
these teams are
20?
fucking telling Todd McShay? Look, you think
probably not?
You think they're telling all 52 different media members their plans and what they want to do?
No, but we also have a great understanding of value in the NFL across positions, and guard is not one of those valuable spots.
Dallas
takes
takes Tet.
in the top 10. Yeah.
Dallas takes Tet. Dallas takes Tet again.
I have no idea what they're doing, man. I think it's Golden, but
I think it's Golden too. Denver takes Colston Loveland at 13, trading with the Miami Dolphins.
I mean, it's a decent fit. It's a good fit, potentially. Trading up to 13 to take Colston Loveland. Wow.
I mean, you said there are teams that prefer him over Warren, so this feels like a good spot. Didn't they move up to get Knicks last year? Didn't they move up to get Knicks?
No,
they didn't.
They stayed pat.
Did they stay pat? You sure?
Yeah, I thought so. At 12.
The Saints traded up in the first round 4 times during his tenure at head coach in New Orleans. Kind of want to put Genty to Denver.
Knicks was 12.
Knicks was 12? Okay, they didn't trade up to get him? Okay.
Don't believe so.
All right. Shamar Stewart to Indianapolis at 14. Jalen Walker to Atlanta. I like that.
But Ray, what's the latest you've seen Walker go? I haven't seen him go lower than, I don't think, 10.
This is probably it.
This is a pretty big slide for a player who's at one time was like almost in top 5 consideration.
And look who's in the building. Damian Parsons. Shout out to DP,
Let's go.
Man. I hope DP can join us tonight. I don't know what the hell DP. I think he's doing some shit with Bleacher Report. Shout out to DP, man. Damian Parsons, one of my good friends in the space, NFL scout for Bleacher Report. He says the league has Zabel high. There you go. There it is.
And he has been rising for sure. We've the report this morning, Dallas could take him, right?
Yeah. Shamar and Indy, they said the hell with that JRich development, man. You know, figure it out, Anthony. Figure it out.
They need pass rush.
Oh,
but
JRich, what are we doing here, man? You ready for this one? You ready for this one?
I see the preview of it. This is Ray. This is
Arizona takes Emeka Egbuka at 16.
This is where I've been saying for how long now. Every day, this guy's odds to go in the first round get better and better and better and better, and no one wants to just say like Ibuka's just a really good player. He's not a guy who's going to blow your doors off with the things that he does, but he does everything very, very well. And the NFL is going to like him because he's a plug and play player. And honestly, we've seen Golden mocked to this spot. Ibuka fits this offense way better than Golden does, like way better in the things that he does and the space that he operates well in. I just think it makes a lot of sense. Like, it sounds crazy, but as an offense, you have Marv, you have Trevor Bride, you have Emeka Egbuka. It's a good offense.
Here we go, Luke.
That's the take right there.
Johnny Lilly, here we go with this. Luke says Cards finally get their number one receiver. Johnny Lillycrab says Cards get a new number one.
Now we're talking.
Man, it's just
People
crazy,
hate
man.
it, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Let me ask you right now, JRich, right now at this very moment, given everything that we know, with the assumption that Travis Hunter is the second overall pick and he's going to play 75% of the time on the offensive side, about 80% on offense, 20% on defense, would you rather Travis Hunter or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Probably Marv, honestly. I like Hunter, but who's got the better quarterback? Probably Marv. And I think that's how I disseminate between the two is who has a better quarterback. Now, Kyler's never thrown for 4,000 yards because he just doesn't do that.
Let me tell you why I would rather have Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Everybody already hates Marv.
That's true.
People already hate him. Right? He goes out.
That's fair.
He goes out. People are going to give him 2 games. If he doesn't come out the gates with his ass and hair on fire, oh man, this dude's a bust. If they draft Emeka Egbuka, Matthew Golden, I don't care who Travis Hunter's quarterback is. I guarantee you the enthusiasm for him will be much higher than that of Marvin Harrison. I just think he's got more ADV right now. Right now, I bet you can do more with Travis Hunter, especially if they come out, he's playing receiver than you can with Marv.
DP doesn't like it, Ray. He doesn't
He doesn't like this pick.
No, he doesn't
I don't like it either. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's competing with Trey McBride. I don't get it, but it's not my mock. Daniel Jeremiah, man. At pick 17, Cincinnati goes Ezeraku out. I'm following the 32.
Ooh, wow.
Pick at 17, man.
Okay.
That's what I said. If he's there on the board with Philly, 32, they're just going to take him. They're just going to take him. That good of an edge rusher. 18, we got a trade, JRich. The Giants trade back into the first with Seattle, who already has, I think, two second-round picks through that trade, DK Metcalf. Now they probably get more capital, and the Giants take Jackson Dart here with Tampa Bay going Matthew Golden at 19. So we got Dart and Golden off the board.
How many receivers can you field in an offense, Ray? They're going to run
Baker
just
Mayfield's
like 10 personnel?
This is just,
Matthew
I got no Bucks insider information, man. I got no Bucks insider. I've got a feeling we're about to get a fuck it Baker season. I mean, with Liam Cohen gone, he's got his whole crew back. If they're going to invest on the offensive side of the ball, Baker's thrown for 5K. I mean, he is going to lead the league in touchdown. He is just going to probably going to lead the league in picks too. But he's going to be up there in TDs, up there in yards. Evans is still going to do his thing. Godwin, McMillan, Cade Otton, Bucky Irvin, sign me up with the Bucks. Jordan Richards, sign me up.
It's interesting, right? I mean, so what does it do for Golden though? You got
give a shit
Mike
about
Evans,
Golden.
You got
what does
Chris
it do for
Godwin,
Baker Mayfield?
You got Jalen McMillan, and now you got Matthew Golden.
I want Baker, the touchdown maker. This would be good for Tampa Bay's offense. Matthew Golden, not so good.
It would be good for the offense, but how much better are they really going to get? Even Matthew Golden, and he's a talented receiver, but how much better does it make this offense?
More better.
More better.
That's how much.
More. It's like that Kobe commercial.
More. We need more. Let's continue down the board. 20. Got another trade. Oh, this was the trade with Denver. So the Dolphins get Malcolm Starks.
Pick. Good pick.
Nice.
Good pick. So that's ahead of Eamon Warrior then.
Yeah, Starks ahead of Eamon Warrior, which it probably should be, man. He's
a better safety on the boards right now.
I think he's the better safety. Eamon Warrior is special athletically. I think I trust. I'll continue to say it. Day one, he's on the field at Georgia. 18, 19-year-old freshman, he's on the field balling. Day one. And hadn't come off the field since then. Position versatility. They lost Javon Holland. Jalen Ramsey's out the door. This is a great pick. 21, Pittsburgh does take Shedeur in Jeremiah's mock. So he says, I'm not convinced they'll take him if he's available, but if he doesn't go here, not sure where he ends up. How good of a landing spot would this be for Sanders? Throwing the ball, Pickens, Freiermuth. It's a great landing spot.
Run first offense. He'll be fine in play action. Like, he has Pickens for now, but Pickens will probably be traded at the draft because it just seems like that's going to happen. And he'll have DK Metcalf still. And he's got some good auxiliary receivers. He could draft some players later to help fill out that offense. But, I mean, he's got a big tight end. He's got a strong downfield receiver. He's going to have a solid running game. They're going to lean on that running game, which I think is important. But it's tough because he's playing in a division with Lamar Jackson and he's playing in a division with Joe Burrow, right? So it's tough. But of all the landing spots, it's probably one of the best ones because if there was a coach who kind of insulate him from the noise, it's probably Mike Tomlin.
What about Arthur Smith?
Arthur Smith has an impact on receivers, not so much quarterbacks. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he's good with Tannehill, right?
Yeah, if when he has a solid quarterback who can deliver the ball, like quarterbacks is usually okay. It's more so the receiver volume that struggles.
JRich, ready for this one? Big Hendo at 22. We cooking now?
Ray, we talking about Najee Harris and Travion Henderson? Damn. Now that is a tandem.
Dude. Yeah, dude.
That is a tandem I can get behind.
Gotta play.
Not so good for Najee, though, because he's playing if he goes 22 to the Chargers. I mean, Najee ain't getting that 70% snap share.
No, but he'll still be on the he'll do exactly what he needs to do to allow Henderson to do what he needs to do. Yeah, let me say that again. It's not RIP Najee. Najee will do exactly what he is asked and needed to do in order for Travion Henderson to go out there and succeed. He will be the guy that's getting jammed up the gut, right? Third and 15, just run him up the gut. We just need to kill some downs. Henderson is going to be allowed to be that playmaker and that creative option in space, the electric offense, 4-minute drill.
Do you think this is your easy Montgomery Gibbs comp?
Yes.
I think so. But can Henderson reach the ceiling of Gibbs? That's the question that you have to.
Where Genty goes in this mock, he goes 5 to
and
Jackson.
we have no Hampton still, right? So this is him as RB2.
I've got Hendo as RB2. I don't have Hampton in my final mock as RB2. It's Travion Henderson.
I don't even have him in the first round. I dropped him.
I don't have Hampton in the first round either. I got him in the second round. I got him in the second round. Henderson goes to Los Angeles. Genty goes to Jacksonville. Hunter goes to Cleveland. Tech goes to Dallas. What are your top 5? What are your top 4? How do you rank them?
I would probably put Hendo at 3, but I feel like he'd probably be at 4. I think Tech to Dallas is enticing enough for people to take him, right? But and you do have the Najee roadblock. And then to be fair, Ray, like it's not like we expect Henderson to be a feature back.
Yeah,
if they decide to get rid of Najee after.
I don't think he's an RB1. DP said Henderson hadn't stayed healthy as an RB1. Yeah, but then this season, what did they do? They went out and got somebody else to allow him not to have to carry the ball like that because post-freshman year, he was not able to stay healthy. Being the guy, he could not stay healthy. But in this situation, I wouldn't project him as the one. I still think that Najee Harris would lead the way, touching the ball, but it would be the low-value touches, right? I want the high-efficiency touches from my running back. I don't need Hendo to go out there and get the ball 25 times. Can he be a guy that's getting the ball 13 to 17 times a game? 15 touches a game. And if 7 of those touches are in space, for fantasy football, that's what I need. I don't need him to grind it between the 20s, man. I don't want him to be Austin Eckler was a perennial RB1 in fantasy football, and his career high in rush attempts was like 205. I don't need Endo carrying the ball like that. Get you in space, get you on the outside playing fast. Why draft him in round 1? Because teams are fucking dumb. Why? Right? Because they do dumb shit all the time. Why did you pay Kirk Cousins all that money and go draft Penix? Why did this team pick that? Because teams do dumb stuff. We sit back, and I'm going on a soapbox here. Just because there are people employed by these NFL teams does not mean that they are the brightest in the world at what they do. There are some incompetent folks amongst all of business that are in positions that they probably shouldn't be in, that they're making decisions that they probably shouldn't be making, right? Jerry Jones probably should be making a bunch of picks. I can't tell you why a team does or does not. Why was Christian Ponder selected in round 1? Blaine Gabbert. Shit happens because it's the draft. It's unpredictable. It's an inexact science. But just because you're in round 1, it is what it is. Like, I'm playing a proxy of a game. If he's drafted by Los Angeles here, if that team does that, then I will prioritize him. Maxwell Harrison to Green Bay at 23. Cool. Vikings take Derek Harmon. I had this in my mock, Jay.
Okay.
But I'm hearing a bunch of injury stuff with Harmon that could pull him down. That could pull him down.
I haven't seen him go this high. Not in a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
DP said Penix was smart, though. Come on, man. You get the point, dude. Like, regardless, was it smart to play Kirk Cousins $100 million and then turn around and draft the QB? I don't think. The point is decisions that are made by teams are bad all the time. Like, they do this all the time. Teams make bad moves all the time, and who are we to sit back like we are holier than thou and know more? Like, I don't know. So that's why I love these exercises, because we don't know. We truly do. We think no way Bo Nix is going to be good. And then you look up, he's the second best damn rookie quarterback in the league last year. We don't know. That's why these situations and just going through, if this is the case, how would we react is so valuable, in my opinion, man. I don't think all NFL teams are good at team building. I really don't. I've heard stories about scouts being on board with one player and then an owner or GM saying, nah, we're taking that guy. I like him, take him. And then that's what you got to do. It wasn't even the consensus in the room, but because the head honcho said we got to do it, we got to do it. Houston goes O-line, Tyler Booker. I think they're going to go offensive line, whether it's Booker, Simmons, Zabel, somebody. And then the Rams, wow. JRich.
What the hell is this?
What are your thoughts
Omarion
here,
Hampton to the Rams at 26?
What are your thoughts here?
I mean, can he take Kyron Williams' job? Sure. Do I think he's gonna? Probably not. You drafted Blake Corum last year, hoping he could give you something this season. And now you go back and you draft another running back.
Those Kyron fumbles, man. I knew it, man. Them damn end of season fumbles, man. He kept fumbling like 10 straight games. He fumbled. They're gonna get sick of this after a while, man. They're gonna get sick of it. Corum couldn't be healthy.
And you need defense? Like, it just, I don't know, man. Crazier things have happened. And maybe they think that this is him sliding too far, and they think he's a value at this point because he was, at one point supposed to be in the top 20, potentially 12 to Dallas. Like, I don't get it. It's very, very, very weird.
This
very,
is
very weird. Very, very weird.
I'm not listen. Me and DP said it too. He said he's heard stories of people being in the war rooms and scouts being on board with one thing, and then somebody coming in and saying, "Nope, we're doing something else." I'm not here to shit on Daniel Jeremiah. That's not what I do, because some of my mocks, I look back and I'm like, yeesh. I had that Nick Scordon at 8 at the start of the process. Like, good God. You know what I mean? Look how far we've come. And I'm a fan of Hampton, but this honestly makes 0 sense to me. 0. When the person in this write-up, they're talking about Saquon Barkley had 13 such runs of 30-plus yards, and 7 of them came against the Rams. And you don't want to go address the defensive side of the ball. You want to go – you have – Kyron Williams over the last, 2 years is 5th, 4th in the NFL in rushing yards? Probably. He's
4th. He's up.
Man.
He was 4th in the NFL this season.
Yeah,
no one thinks he's like this big volume rusher. He runs the ball a lot.
Yeah,
Hampton can do that, but I don't know. I just don't know if he's going to take over that job.
Not on board with Hampton at 26. Kenneth Grant.
Good pick. No,
Good
I mean,
pick.
Starks isn't available, but Eamon War is still available, right?
Eamon War is available. Donovan Jackson,
Interesting.
the second Donovan Jackson to the Detroit Lions.
So they are taking.
I wanted him in the first round. I've been saying it. I honestly think he can go. I'd love to hear what DP's thought. I think he can go to Houston at 25.
Yeah.
I had him mocked at one point to Philly at 32.
Connerly there.
I think he'd go 25 to Houston. any team looking for a versatile offensive lineman that gives you that flexibility. I know he's a guard. That's what he will play, but he got to play some tackle with Simmons being hurt. I think he's a first-round talent. So, yeah, Donovan Jackson, awesome. Going to Detroit.
Yeah.
Commanders get Jahdae Barron, JRich, at 29.
I forgot. So, wait. So, we've had no corners yet, right? Because Will Johnson, I don't think, has been drafted.
No Will Johnson.
Barron, obviously, just drafted at 20.
CB1.
Wow, that's a great pick for Washington. If one of those top corners falls all the way to Washington, they would have to sit there and take that pick.
He feels kind of like Sanders still a little bit. Because I don't believe that Jahdae Barron is the type of corner that you say, hey, this week we're going to play Dallas. We're going to play A.J. Brown, and you're going to go one-on-one and travel. I don't believe that's him. DP's in the chat. I'll allow him to comment. I'm not saying he can't cover, but he kind of plays he plays nickel, he plays outside, he plays safety, he rushes the passer. I've compared him to like a Jalen Petrie type player, and maybe he's more corner than Jalen Petrie.
A versatile corner.
Versatile corner. Trey Amos in Buffalo, if you're looking for a pure, just line him up on the outside, I would prefer Amos to Barron. If you want the versatile playmaker, I think that's Jahdae Barron over Amos. Buffalo takes Amos here at 30.
Oh,
Kansas
Harrison went to Green Bay. So
Harrison went to Green Bay. Excuse me. So we were both wrong. Harrison went to Green Bay. KC takes Josh Connerly, who I had in my final mock, going to the Chiefs as well. And then Philadelphia takes Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama, been falling a little bit because of the shoulder surgery. He goes to the Philadelphia Eagles at 32.
Good pick.
Yeah. Buffalo needs corner. I'd rather the Ravens draft Barron if he falls. Players not in round one. No Will Johnson.
No Will Johnson.
No Will Johnson. Right. 3 running backs. Was Jackson Dart in here? No Jackson Dart?
Yeah, he went over Shedeur. He went 18.
Oh, Jackson Dart went to Shedeur, went to the Giants. Yeah, he went to. So we had 3 quarterbacks. No Eamon Worry. No Luther Burden. Luther Burden ain't gonna be first rounder. No Eamon Worry. Yeah, that's Daniel Jeremiah's last mock.
Is Walter Nolan wasn't in this, was he? Did I miss him?
I think he went to Walter Nolan.
Yeah, I don't think we saw him in this, which is kind of crazy because
we saw Derek Harmon, but the whole Walter Nolan stuff is crazy to me. DP said, I'm not high on that Commanders pick. Yeah, Jahad to the Eagles, and I believe if I'm not mistaken, they lost Nakobe Dean at the end of the season. I don't want to say it's 25 season ending, but I know it was I believe it was a knee issue. I don't know if it was patella, ACL. I don't want to speak on that, but I believe they lost Nakobe Dean in the playoffs last year. This would be a nice pick for Philadelphia if he drops here, Jay. Yeah. It'd be a nice pick if he drops here.
Great luxury pick, right? They could use another linebacker, and once he's healthy, he'll be a monster for them.
Yeah, I have Baltimore in my final mock taking Shamar Stewart. I had the Commanders taking Mike Green. We talked about that. I have him going edge rusher. Was Mike Green not in here?
Wow, he might not have been. Yeah. Wow.
See, and look,
no Mike Green.
No Mike Green. I haven't fallen to the Commanders. I don't think they're taking a Marshall edge rusher at 15.
But then Pierce wasn't in this mock either, was he?
Who? Pierce?
James Pierce.
People are scared of Pierce, but I got him 15th, man. I'm just gonna trust that this dude is fucking good, and we'll see what the NFL does. But no James Pierce.
Yeah.
No Pierce.
Very different. Pierce. Like some different names in there.
All right, people don't like this mock. So this mock is terrible. Listen, blame that. Tell Daniel Jeremiah how stank it was.
At Move the Sticks.
At Move the Sticks. I'm going to X to see if there are any rumors, any news buzz that we're hearing right now. Jay, let's want to scroll the timeline. See what's going on real quick before we get out of here. A lot of stuff happening today. Let's go. Let's scroll the timeline. See what we're talking about. Mo's on here. Mike Renner. Got my boy Mo from Bleacher Report. Got a little draft day stuff. Let's go to Schefter's account. Let's go to Adam Schefter. See if he's tweeted anything out.
So
nothing.
Did you see the thing that happened last night though?
What happened last night?
The thing about Joe Show and Son posting Jackson Dart highlights.
Posting Jackson Dart stuff. Man. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else going down, man. I think that's it.
We haven't seen much. No, it's really just the Broncos fielding calls because they're ahead of the Steelers was the one thing that he tweeted out this morning. Teams wanting to trade up ahead of the Steelers to go and draft, a quarterback presumably ahead of the Steelers there. But yeah, it's not a lot of news. Not a lot is changing.
It's quiet.
There was a lot yesterday. There was a lot of stuff going around yesterday. A lot of it surrounding with Genty, but yeah, it does seem like 5 is where the draft is going to start, and then it could get a little crazy from there. Because, we just looked at 2 mocks, and they were drastically different.
Very different.
And it's not that one is necessarily better than the other. It's just these people are hearing different information, and they're pegging different fits together. And I think that's the interesting thing. When you see stuff like that happen, it tells you that there's a lot of uncertainty. And with the lack of trade so far, I think we could see a lot of movement in this draft. A lot.
Hey, I got to reach out to DP needs to jump on the stream, man. He needs to, whether it's Friday or Saturday, we got to get DP on the stream. Hit the music, JRich. Hit the music, man. Hit the music. That's it. That's the final wake up where we are speculating about round 1. No more round 1 mocks. I know y'all are sick of it. It's on to those way too early 26 mocks. Let me get that Arch Manning 101 to the Cleveland Browns. We'll start doing that shit real soon. But make sure y'all pull up tonight, round 1 draft party on the channel. What time, JRich?
7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live just before the draft starts.
Just before the draft. So make sure you pull up. We'll be here all night. After the draft stream, we'll be on DDFFB.
DP will be in NYC for Bleacher Report doing their broadcast. Okay, big time. Big time.
My bad.
DP just big timed us in our own chat.
My bad.
That's sick, though. Congrats, bro. That's
Damian Hart, I apologize. Please go do your thing in New York, big dog. That is dope.
Hell yeah.
He did flex on us. Not how I was thinking this outro would go. No need to do that, DP. I'm going to text you about that. You ain't got to flex on us on the show at the end of the show. But nah, man, it's all love, DP. Go do your thing in New York. He is an incredible dude, man. One of my best friends in the space. So make sure you pull up in his content. Watch our stuff first before you watch that NYC stuff from Damian Parson. But it's all love, baby. He's one of the best in the business. We appreciate y'all. This is the best damn chat in the business, man. This Wake Up crew, y'all have been rocking with us throughout this entire non-consensus process where there's been no kind of agreements anywhere. I think tonight's going to be fun. So pull up. The whole crew will be here. Got a lot of fun stuff, and we're going to just have a good time. So wake y'all asses up tomorrow morning because we'll be here. Eyes red, probably drunk, a little high, but we'll be here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Appreciate all the love. Thank you for all the super chats. I think we had one more come through, JRich, before we get out of here, and it was from Fredo, and he just said, hit the like button, y'all. Appreciate you, my guy. We'll see you a little later on this evening. Get some work done today, folks. Get some work done. Relax. Drink some water. Hydrate yourself. Get your workout in, and we'll see y'all later on this evening. JRich, anything you want to say to people before we get out?
Nah, thanks for tapping in. We will see you tonight, so make sure you pull up to the streams, not just today, but tomorrow and Saturday as well. And as Ray said, apparently we're doing a post show on DDFFB till God knows what hour of the night. But I will still be waking up here, so hit the like button, subscribe to both channels, and we'll see y'all later for the 2025 NFL Draft.
Peace.